Hi y'all, welcome to the 18th episode of my Hypertravel with Hardie video series about all the trips I've taken in the last 25 years or so. This week we'll be going to South Thailand. First, a backstory. My long coexistence with Asia, specifically Southeast Asia, is almost first and almost foremost with Thailand, beginning in 1992, mostly with Chiang Mai, to whatever extent anyone can truly circumvent Bangkok. That's only logical, since Chiang Mai is the main focus of Thailand's handicraft trade, and that was my game back then, long since established for at least a decade in Latin America and looking to expand by this time. And within 5 years, Chiang Mai would be the central point of my business, even after I chose to live in Chiang Rai to the north. This is after spending almost half the same decade in Vietnam and only gradually closing my business in Latin America. But my travel urge never really died, and undergoing something of a minor peak around 1997, the year that I finally decided on Thailand over Cambodia, China, Indonesia, Laos, and Vietnam, already mentioned. The logical goal then is to see all of Thailand, and if the Isan Northwest is the first goal, after Bangkok in the north, then soon the south presents itself as an equal, if not better, choice. Note that it is almost impossible to see all of Thailand in any one trip. So this narrative reflects that, as the South gradually became most important to me there. So this trip starts in the year 2013 and focuses on the Songkhla area, where I would eventually go to mock school in the year 2017. Still, all roads lead to Bangkok, and so that's where this story starts, with bars, clubs, and pubs ho-hum. Fortunately, there's a train straight to Songkhla. I hadn't been in Songkhla in a dozen or so years, so I jumped at the chance to put that on my itinerary. After successively postponing and or canceling trips to Bhutan and Burma, I was left with a hole in my schedule, so this fits the bill nicely. It's different. Normally when you think of southern Thailand, you think of tourist mega resorts like upscale Phuket or backpacker havens Koh Samui, Phangan, or Tao. Then there are Koh Lanta, Krabi, Phi Phi, and countless others. Or if you're talking about the dangerous and rebellious Thai Muslim three southern provinces, then you're talking Yala, Narathiwat, Pattani, and some other places that have made big news in the last decade's separation struggles. Then there are the boring provincial Thai cities of Nakhon Si Thammarat, Surat Thani, and others best known as transit points. Songkhla doesn't fit any of these categories. It has tourist interest, but almost no one goes there, Thais included. For one thing, Songkhla's scenic but difficult position between the sea and an inland lake is always problematic. And that has kept organic growth slow and access cumbersome. For another, its beaches have pine trees, not palms, and most frequent visitors are likely Muslims from Malaysia, picnicking on the beach fully clothed. Songkhla likes to advertise itself as Thailand's original southern resort city, but that must date to a time when Marseille was France's and Acapulco Mexico's. There are plenty of Western foreigners here, but they're not tourists. They're offshore oil workers. That's Songkhla's claim to wealth and fame, that and fishing and rubber plantations. Those workers all need entertainment, of course, so this is your last chance for whoring and drinking before the fundamentalist Muslim South. More fundamentalist than its Malay national cousins across the border, I reckon. But Songkhla hasn't changed much, not from the first time I was here, almost 15 years ago. Or the second time, 12 years ago. That second time I fell in love and left precipitously rather than face the fact that the object of my affection was a special order for one of the local oil field helicopter pilots. She needed money for her grandmother's hospital bill. By the time I knew what was happening, it was too late. She was an Isan girl, the Northwest Thai. And I'm sure long gone by now, but he may still be here, you never know. So I gravitate to the bar with Nirvana on the playlist, of course. Playing straight off of YouTube on a full-size screen, atmosphere more than making up for whatever the system lacks in fidelity. This is the so-called corner bar, and Tom is the owner. He might as well be the King of Scotland as far as I'm concerned. These guys are not stingy. For every drink I've bought, I think I've gotten at least 2 more free, often not even knowing who the generous donor is. I could get used to this, if I could get used to alcohol at all. I've been out of practice for years. There's only one rule: no politics. And that's probably wise, since there are U.S. oil field workers here too. I doubt they voted for Obama. But after 2 nights of drinking, I'm in a daze. I really prefer an almost teetotal existence, like the last 5 years. But I also prefer some social intercourse, so you can't always have it both ways. I'm teetering between the lost weekend and the dark night of my soul, uncertain as to how all this plays out, while saving something for Christmas at least, which should be interesting. It is. But I've had too much alcohol. These bloody Scots can drink me under the table. Some flies are perfect, but Thailand is something of a safe haven for me. And that's nice in many ways. I just have to define the term. I'll be back. The food down south, fierce and fiery, is renowned even among Thais for its spiciness. That includes yellow curries and, of course, seafood, a welcome addition for us semi-vegetarians quickly backtracking into ovo-lacto chickentarianism. Then there are the sweets, similar to the rest of Thailand and heavily based on the use of coconut, or at least the milk, not to be confused with the water. This is native to the south, of course, and likely the point of dissemination toward the north. Along with much of Thai cuisine, curries originally from Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Indian subcontinent, in my theory at least. Southern Thailand is a masala mix of tourism, expats, hoodlums, and boredom, then Trang somehow finds itself at the center of it all. And while it has few attractions of its own in the city proper, that in and of itself is one of the attractions. This is a backpacker principle. Authentic is better, as long as it's not boring. Trang is not, though I have yet to see a go-go or dark side a la Songkla bar. Good deal. Trang reminds me a bit of Chiang Rai up north, actually, with a fairly well-defined center and tangents streaming off at all angles. And at that center is the railroad station, very convenient, and something hard to find in this day and age of remote transportation centers. The problem for us authenticity seekers is to find that authenticity and isolate it from all the rest of the mass market BS. My favorite thing about southern Thailand, besides all the seacoast, not to be confused with beach, and the connections to neighboring Malaysia, are all the birds, the ones in cages. This seems to be peculiar to the entire region. And while the birds seem fairly ordinary, though quite audible, the cages themselves are very beautiful. Wooden, waxed, and polished to a high sheen. I persevere in my search for authentic experience. Trang may not be the end of that search, but it's not a bad stopover. From here I catch the train back to Bangkok. Downside, this is the only place I've ever seen Buddhist monks smoking cigarettes. 2 so far. So much for non-attachment. Soon they'll be vaping, I guess. Meanwhile, back in Bangkok, the ongoing political struggles between the 2 political parties, best known as Red and Yellow, populist and royalist, only now increased by the blue and purple, probably best described as progressive and conservative. They all make good food.